Hello everyone and welcome. This is a video on the seventh dimension. For those of you who are watching the replay, I'm High Priestess May. For those of you who are new, I am a psychic medium, spiritist, and channel, which means, and as well as a caballo de misterios, but that's besides the point. Which means that I speak to the dead and I speak to angels, I speak to galactic energies, and then I bring you what they share with me. So today we're actually going to be talking about the seventh dimension. And the seventh dimension is an extremely important aspect of our creation and our existence here on Earth as incarnated light beings. Meaning that, for those of you who don't know, let me do a little recap. We are presently physically in the third dimension. However, we are experiencing all of the dimensions in one. We're all experiencing all of the dimensions at the same time. And the shift in dimension is based on your mental, spiritual, emotional vibration. So if you are experiencing a lot of suffering, if you're experiencing a lot of negativity, a lot of sadness, a lot of anger, that is usually reflected as something that is from the second dimension and is being pulled into your third dimensional reality. And the third dimensional reality is where we are physical, where the other realities of the other dimensions are happening around us. Okay, so if you're interested in hacking your life for the better, if you're interested in hacking your life based on what I have experienced, what I have learned from spirit, from angels, on how to hack your life for a better life, then you want to watch this video. So today I'm going to talk to you about the seventh dimension and the laws of the universe. Okay, so the seventh dimension happens to be the dimension of luck, prosperity. It's often associated with the planet Jupiter, and it happens to actually be an extremely powerful dimension. And if you're able to draw from that dimension and put it into this dimension, your life will be extremely prosperous. And not just prosperous, but also extremely enlightened. Not just fake woke, but actual enlightenment, okay? So let's get started. So the seventh dimension, like I said, is an extremely prosperous, extremely enlightened dimension. And what's funny enough is that the seventh dimension is actually is held within the sixth dimension, which we talked about before when we talked about the number 666, which is the reason why a lot of religion tells you to stay away from the 666 or tells you to stay away from the sixth dimension, because the sixth dimension is a dimension of the architects of the universe. So today, this information, I came across it through the help of Archangel Metatron and the experience of sacred geometry. So we were going over that. So funny enough, the seventh dimension is actually held within the sixth dimension and is supported by all of the other dimensions. That's the first dimension, which is the dimension of unity, the second dimension, the dimension of polarity, the third dimension, which is us, right? The fourth dimension, which is the astral realm and the pillars of reality. The fifth dimension, which is the dimension of transcendence. So right now, you guys might be hearing like, oh, we're elevating to the fifth dimension. We're elevating to the fifth dimension. But in reality, the fifth dimension is not a permanent place. The fifth dimension is a jumping spot. Your fifth dimension is the spot where we use to jump to our highest selves, okay? So it's been debated in different traditions, different religions, that prophets such as Jesus and such as Muhammad and even Buddha actually were the very few that were able to actually experience and the seventh dimension, the seventh dimensional reality. And that is because they understood and overstood and applied the principles and the laws of nature. So I'm going to go over the laws of nature with you right now, okay? The first law of the nature is the law of the mind. So the first law of the seventh dimension is the law of the mind. And the law of the mind tells us that all which we experience externally is what we see in here. So all that is held within our crown is what we actually will experience in our third dimensional reality. So what does that mean? That means your brain is an extremely, or not, I was going to say your brain, your mind is an extremely powerful manifester. It tells me that whatever you want to create in the world, first of all, if you're always in a certain vibration of need, then you're always going to put out the vibration, the wavelengths of need into the universe, because the mind is the first place where, and we talk about this in my tarot course as well, that the mind is the first creator. So we create first in the mind, and the vibration, the waves that we push out of our mind into the universe get projected back to us in our reality. Okay, in our third dimensional reality. Because what happens is that the seventh dimension is actually held within the chakras of the body. Okay, and if you are not careful with how you utilize, or you are mindless, or unaware, then you are unaware of how your vibration affects the rest of the world and how it affects the rest of the collective. Because all of the vibrations that we put out, they all get kind of like added to the same pot. And then unless you learn to become very disconnected from other people, you won't be able to have relationships if you are not always working to balance these laws within yourself. So the first thing is, everything is yours. Everything, that is the first law. Everything that you actually see around you is your own creation. Okay? Whether you want to accept that or not, that's fine. But I will show you why. Everything that is around you is your own creation. Even the ability of someone else to be able to do witchcraft on you is actually your own creation. Why? Because you are not aware of these 7 laws, and because you're not balancing these 7 laws within yourself, your vibration lowers enough that someone who has malintention is able to actually access your aura, is able to actually access and break through and be able to negatively affect you. So the first, like I said, the first law is the law of the mind. It's everything you see in here, you will see out there. The second law is the law of correspondence. So a lot of people think that their third eye is closed, and that's not true. Your third eye is actually always open. It's open from childhood. The problem is when they say that, when someone says, oh, your third eye is closed, what they're talking about is the fact that your third eye is closed to the positive of the world, to higher vibrations, to other vibrations. And your third eye is very third dimensional, because your third eye is always open for programming, which is why they tell you, which is why we have been told a lie for so long, that the third eye is closed, even if you're not experiencing, even if you are, let's say, extremely spiritual. They say, well, you have to open your third eye. You have to open your third eye. Or even if you aren't spiritual at all, your third eye is actually always open. This is what Archangel Metatron was extremely, extremely, extremely pushy about me telling you this. Your third eye is always open. It doesn't matter whether you meditate. It doesn't matter whether you believe in spiritual stuff, whether you don't believe in spiritual stuff. Your third eye is actually always open. What is it open to is the problem. Is it open to being programmed, or is it open to you being able to program the universe consciously? And that's the difference, okay? Your third eye is open from birth to being programmed, meaning that everything you consume, everything you see, even if your eyes are closed, your regular eyes are closed, everything you see with your third eye, which its screen is here, okay? You can imagine an invisible hole in your middle of your forehead. Everything you see from the moment you're born with your third eye is programming you. That is why hypnosis works, okay? So that's why we have ears. Everything you hear, everything you see is constantly programming you. These two here are extremely connected. Your ears are part of your third eye. So everything you hear, everything you see is actually being programmed into you. And what happens is when you are receiving this programming, you are projecting back out exactly the same vibration that you have been programmed. That is what the law of correspondence speaks about. The law of correspondence says that which you see, you will put out into the world. Because if you can imagine your third eye like a projector, right? So the projector, is extremely extremely important to what is created. So this is why manifestation works. This is why magic works, right? So when you're doing magic and you have to visualize what it is that you actually desire to see, when your third eye is able to see it, when your third eye is balanced, it's actually able to create it, okay? But even when your third eye is not balanced, it's able to create negative things, okay? It's able to create negative things because it's already been programmed with the vibration of fear. Because it's been programmed with the vibration of fear, then that which you've received, that vibration of fear that you've received into your third eye, is then projected back out into the reality that you are experiencing in your reality, okay? And this also has to do with the fact that we're going to talk about free will in a little bit, and how our own free will affects other people's free will, and how our own free will can affect other people's ability, can affect how other people experience a third dimensional reality, okay? So the next law that I want to talk to you about, so did you get that? That which you see in your mind. So if you're not able to actually see that vision in your mind, and you're not able to hold on to that vision in your mind, you won't be able to project it into your reality. Okay, so if the vision you're constantly holding in your mind is of this evil world, that is what you project into this reality. That is what you see in your reality. That doesn't mean that you are necessarily responsible for all of it, but that which, when you become aware of something, then you start to see it in your reality, okay? Because that vision which you hold in your mind is what you will see in your own personal reality. Okay, then we have the law of vibration. The law of vibration is the third law in the spiritual realm. We're talking about the spiritual realm here. The seventh dimension. Okay, the seventh dimension that can be utilized if you properly harmonize it to better your life in the third dimension. Okay, so the law of vibration says that which I speak, I create, which is the reason why which is why the word spelling means to create something. To spell is to actually speak out your intention and create it into the universe. And what happens is that your throat chakra actually gives the vibration of your throat chakra, the energy of your throat chakra actually creates the vibration that is going to assist you in creating what you see and creating what you think, okay? So if you're trying to hack how to manipulate your reality, you have to watch how you speak. If you're trying to hack how you manipulate and what projects into what you speak, what you see, what images you hold in your mind, and also what images you allow into your mind. So let's say you're watching television and you're constantly watching crime shows, or you're constantly watching or fearing some sort of persecution. Because you're constantly watching and you're in that vibration, you are automatically putting yourself in the vibration of being of the universe is already kind of keeping track of that. So when you are unknowingly, you end up putting yourself in the grid of something like that happening in your life, okay? Maybe not to you, but to someone around you, because those vibrations combine together to create, okay? To create your reality. So when you are constantly speaking negative, it's not that you can't have negative feelings. It's not that like you say, oh, I'm gonna just say one bad thing and everything's gonna be destroyed. No. The universe takes your average. Okay? So the universe takes the average of what you speak, what you see, and what you think. The universe takes the average of that, and then that's what gets created into your reality. That doesn't mean that because you have one bad thought or one bad feeling or one bad day that the universe is going to just make your whole life bad. No, that's not what I'm saying. That's why it's really important to learn to listen. What I'm saying is that the universe will take an average of how you follow these laws, how you vibrate, and then it will reproduce a copy of it back to you. Okay? Then we have the law of rhythm. So this is probably one of the most important laws. Okay? The laws of rhythm state that the laws of rhythm are associated to your feelings that are held in the heart chakra. So that law of rhythm states that which you feel will determine the time that you have to wait for something to happen. Okay. Remember how when we're little, we're like, oh, time goes by fast when we're having fun. Okay, that is because the universe is relative and time is made up. And the universe responds to your emotion. Not one bad emotion or one good emotion, but an average. That's why it's called balancing, because balancing is an average of the positive and the negative. So the universe responds, takes in the emotions you're putting out. So if you're constantly putting out negative and never putting out any positive emotion, then your average is always going to consist of negative emotions and negative reality. But if you are putting out positive and negative, and you're doing the best you can, and you're doing the best to balance both the positive and the negative that you're putting out, then what happens is that the universe intakes that and then spits out the average of what you are putting into it. So the law of vibration tells the law of rhythm tells us that which we feel and that which if we feel really low and really sad, then your vibration, your rhythm is really slow. So you're going to get stuck. You're going to feel stuck in that vibration because all of the chakras above you respond to the rhythm in your heart. So then we have the rhythm in your heart controlling how you speak, controlling what you see, controlling what you think. Okay? So then and this also has some to do, not all of it, because the other dimensions have more to do with why bad things happen to us versus why good things happen to us. Okay? This is talking about you not controlling, but becoming more aligned with how you want your reality to go. That doesn't mean that you're in complete control. This is what you can this is the effort you can put in, because there are still other lessons that your soul has to learn that you have predestined yourself to experience. Yes, all the bad things that happen to you, you have predestined yourself to experience. So if your house burns down, God forbid, or if something terrible happens to you, your soul chose to experience that experience before it came to earth in order to go through its elevation process. So when I say to people, everything that happens to you, you chose, they get angry at me. They're like, how could I have chosen for this bad thing to happen to me? How could I have chosen for my mother to be abusive? How could I have chosen for this person to hurt me? How could I have chosen? Yes, you chose it. You chose it before you incarnated. You chose it before you incarnated. That actually doesn't have a lot to do with the law of the seventh dimension, because the seventh dimension is about how you can put in to the universe and how you can program the universe from this dimension to expand. But the bad things that happen to you, the lessons that happen to you, whether it's good or bad, your soul chose before you even incarnated. Okay? Because everything happens for a reason. And other people have free will as well. So they can choose to allow demonic energies because they're not balancing these laws within themselves. They can choose to allow demonic energies to influence their seventh dimension, and then they pull those energies into the third dimension and create evil. And that we're going to go into that even further later on. So the law of rhythm, the law of feeling, is what controls how fast or how slowly you see things coming to your reality. So if you're very, very low, if your vibration is very low, if you're feeling very sad all the time, that's why we always say, in order to feel unstuck, you have to change, you have to move the energy in your heart. You have to move, you have to change, you have to shift the vibration, you have to shift your feelings, okay? So you have to do things to shift your feelings, because what we perceive as positive experiences only happen in the high vibrational field. So if you're not putting out any high vibrational energies into the universe, there's no positive energy for it to take with the negative energy and balance it out into a positive for you, okay? So it's extremely important, and that's different, again, from the life lessons that we have to learn. The life lessons that we have to learn are not affected by the law. There's nothing you can do, because that is the life lesson you already chose to learn before you came into this reality. However, for those things that you can choose to change, okay, for those things that you can choose to control in this reality, the law of rhythm is extremely important. So controlling your feelings, not letting your feelings control you, can assist in the process of speaking what you desire, what you actually desire to see in your reality, seeing what you actually desire to see in your reality, and thinking, experiencing in your mind what you actually want to experience in your reality. Okay? Because the universe takes an average of our emotions and spits it back out to us. So if you're constantly putting in negative emotion, then it's going to take an average, and it's going to be like everything is always falling apart for you. But if there is, if you're more of like a positive and negative person, and you have like that balance between your positive and your negativity, then the universe will take an average of that and spit that back out to you. However, how you can really hack it is if you really truly can heal your heart to feel more positive than you feel negative, then the vibration of more positivity is going to add more to the average, and it's actually going to make a life that is averagely higher and better. Okay? So it's extremely important to heal the heart in order to allow yourself to experience the higher vibrational emotions, which will actually bring up your average to the universe into a higher dimension and into a higher experience. Okay? The law of action, the next one is the law of action and reaction, which is actually connected to your solar plexus. What does that mean? That is the law of consequence. That means everything you put out into the universe will have an equal and balanced reaction. We actually learn about this in science, right? But they never explained it from a spiritual perspective. They always explained it from okay, if I throw a ball, it's going to come back at me at the same speed as I throw it, or it's going to come back at me if I throw a ball against the wall. It's going to come back at me and hit me with the same force that I threw it at the wall. That is the law of action and reaction that is connected to our solar plexus. And the law of action and reaction tells us that which we cause out there has an effect back. That is the law of karma. Karma. So if you have a lot of bad juju, a lot of bad karma, you are constantly going to be projecting that out into the universe, and the universe will just be bringing that back to you. So what happens is you end up you end up projecting that bad juju out into the universe. And what the universe does is it says, okay, so this person is vibrating on this low vibrational, just jealous, angry, always negative and critical vibration. So the universe goes out there and finds other people that are vibrating on that same vibration, and then puts those people into your reality, because that is the vibration you're putting out. Okay? So the universe says, okay, I see what you're giving me, and I put back more of what you're giving me. So when you are in that low vibration, you are able to actually attract people that are bad for you. You're able to actually attract people that may do bad witchcraft on you, that may betray you, because you're already in that vibration. And I didn't understand this until I actually experienced it. When I kept betraying myself and kept betraying what I really felt and what I really thought, because I wanted to play nice with the universe, or play nice with the people around me, and not make them feel bad for the stupid things they did to me, or the mean things they did. When I kept myself imprisoned in that, like, I can't speak my truth, or I can't express how I feel, then those emotions got stuck inside of me. And what happens is, because I did not deal with it with the person, right? I wasn't dealing with it with the people that were making me feel this way. What happens is I just ended up bringing more of that energy into my life, more of that energy of feeling repressed or oppressed, or whatever you want to call it, because I was constantly suppressing how I actually felt about the situation, or somehow turning it inward, which then caused it to come back to me. Okay? So if you're putting out negativity in the world, you receive negativity back. At some point, that negativity will come back to you. It may take a little detour, it may take a little while, but it always will come back. Then we have the sacral chakra law, and that is the sixth law of the universe, and that is the law of polarity. And that is the law that states that for every positive thing that is created, a negative and equal thing is created as well. So this is the reason why it's so difficult to get rid of evil in this world. And it's because now that doesn't mean that everything that is negative is evil, but every time we create something positive, every time something good happens to us, something bad is happening to somebody else. Okay? And we have to understand that, because that's how the universe actually balances itself out. Okay? So everything that is created in this third dimension through the seventh dimension is the law. It follows the law of polarity. So there is a positive and a negative to everything. We all have a positive and a negative, and it's not about not having any negative at all, but it's using our free will to actually balance our positive and negative, or maybe balance and tipping the scales a little bit over more into the positive, so that we are actually affecting the world with a positive vibration. Okay? Because everything has a positive and a negative. Everything has a dark and a light side. Okay? Everything does. So it's extremely important to remember that. The seventh law is the law that corresponds with the root chakra. And the law that corresponds to the root chakra, the seventh law, is the law of generation. So that means that is what that law states, is actually that everything that is created has a gender, has both genders, has both masculine and feminine within it. So basically everything that has been true for like everything I have ever experienced. If you look at plants, plants have a positive and negative, have a male and female vibration. Animals have a feminine or masculine vibration. Well, actually they have both, but plants, animals, humans, we all have that we all correspond to that law of generation, which is everything is a male and female. Everything has the divine masculine and divine feminine, and it's up to you to balance the divine masculine and the divine feminine and actually not get so stuck on one side or the other. Of course, there is an importance to your particular gender, but I'm talking about the divine masculine and feminine energies within you, not necessarily your external presence, okay, or how you create that in your external body. But within you there is a divine masculine and divine feminine, and it's extremely important to actually balance these two forces. So the reason why this is extremely important is because aside from the lessons that our soul chooses to learn in this lifetime, lessons of maybe abuse or breaking generational curses, or lessons of some sort of oppression, or lessons of maybe your divine self also wanted you to experience love and marriage and children and all those kinds of things. So aside from the lessons that you are already predestined to experience, because nothing can change those lessons, okay? Because you've already predestined those lessons. What you can shift into the seventh dimension and be able to have a more balanced control of, I guess, I don't like to say control because you really don't want to control it, but have a more influence on, is utilizing these 7 laws and understanding that these 7 laws do have a effect on your reality, on how you perceive your reality and how you experience your reality in the 3rd dimension. That is not to say, like I said before, that there are not lessons that you have to go through that no matter what you do, you won't be able to get out of, because again, that is where we go back to the fact that we are co-creators, not the full creator of our reality. We co-create by by understanding and utilizing the 7 laws of the universe. However, we still are under the control of our higher selves, which has already predestined us to experience certain situations in our life that we cannot escape, or the lessons that maybe our gods or spirit guides or whatever it is you believe in has already predestined for us. So there is nothing that really you can escape with that lesson, from that lesson. Whatever way, whatever situation it takes for you to learn that lesson, you will experience that situation. However, it's how you utilize the 7 laws in between those lessons that really makes your life either more positive and more successful and prosperous, or makes your life in between those lessons seem extremely, extremely negative and full of sadness and anger, and just that is what you carry with you on a daily basis. So that's all I have to bring to you today. Spirit and Archangel Metatron wanted me to share with you the 7 laws of the universe to help you understand how you can help what baggage you carry with you every single day, okay? And I'm not going to say it's easy. It's extremely hard, because it's extremely hard for us, because we are polar beings. We are positive and negative beings. It's extremely hard for us to sit in the middle. It's extremely hard for us to sit in the gray area, because we have been taught that you either have to be in the negative or you have to be in the positive. You can't be in the middle, but that's not true. Okay? The truth is that you have the ability to live a more positive vibration and shift yourself into the gray. If you're in that really dark place, you're able to shift yourself into the gray, and then you're able to shift yourself into the light, if that to experience more. So the gray is kind of like experiencing normal life, right? Things just kind of like fall into place, and you have the job, you have the job you want, you have the car, the kids, and all that kind of stuff. So that's an average life. The the life that you can have when you have even a higher understanding of the 7 laws of the universe is being able to pull the prosperity and the abundance, and and knowing that everything is abundant, so therefore there is no lack, into your reality from the 7th dimension, and then you're able to actually create a prosperous life. And that's when you can become a wealthy millionaire. I'm just kidding. Not going to say everybody's going to become a wealthy millionaire, but you have the spiritual energy to attract that kind of wealth, the spiritual energy to attract ultimate happiness, the spiritual energy to attract those kinds of things into your 3rd dimensional reality. And all you really have to do, aside from being in that positive vibration, is just do the work, and things just seem to fall into place much easier. So that is the 7 laws of the universe, and hopefully that helps you in some way shift and understand how I shift. I become aware of, okay, I am extremely aware now of, okay, what am I thinking? How is this thought actually helping me or not helping me? Because whenever I think a negative thought, when we do it, all of us do it. If we're constantly thinking a negative thought, we never take action towards the things that Spirit tells us we should be doing, and the things that Spirit tells us are meant for us, because we don't believe in it, because our thoughts are telling us we're not good enough, it's not going to happen, it's impossible, blah, 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 blah. So when we constantly think those thoughts, then we put that out into our vibration, into our reality, and then we don't take any action because we have convinced ourselves through our own vibration that it's not possible for us to achieve certain things in this 3rd dimensional world. So it helps to really shift your life into more peace, into more love, into more prosperity, into less fear, into less hesitation, when you understand the 7 laws of the universe. That doesn't mean that just because you understand the 7 laws of the universe and nothing bad is ever going to happen to you. Yes, but the bad things that happen to you, understand that your higher self has chosen that. You have chosen that for yourself before you incarnated, in order to grow the spirit, in order to grow the strength of your spirit. Okay, so because when we go through something really bad, like for example, when I went through my grandfather's passing, that hit me really hard. But the process of healing that, the process of grief, with the combination of using the 7 laws, but the process of grief actually made me a stronger, more powerful, more empowered person. And the bad things that happen to us, yes, they're sad and they are horrible sometimes, and they are extremely, they feel debilitating. However, when you go through the healing process of those things, it assists you in becoming a stronger spirit and a stronger person in this world. Okay? And that is why, for example, people who went through, souls who went through the, experience of slavery because of their extreme suffering. Now, I'm not saying that that's okay, that it was okay that happened to them, that other humans used their free will to do that. However, to some extent, their souls had chosen that, and in that experience, they grew in strength. And that is why now their descendants are extremely, extremely powerful if you know how to tap into your power as a descendant of an African slave, or any type of slave that had experienced slavery before. If you're able to, as a descendant, tap into that power that you received from that suffering, rather than tap into the negative energy that you received from that suffering, you can empower yourself to become an extremely powerful, powerful being and powerful manifester, and your spirits are stronger. Your ancestral spirits are even stronger because of the suffering that they went through. So it's extremely important to remember that all suffering has a purpose. I'm not saying that it's okay, but saying it all has a purpose in the spiritual realm, because that which you doesn't kill you makes you stronger is basically the concept in the spiritual world, that negative experiences which you've experienced are actually preparing you for a higher, more powerful future. And it's up to you how you apply the 7 laws of the universe, whether you choose to become stronger or whether you choose to let it break you. So it's all in how you respond. All right, everyone. So that's it. That's all that I have for you today. I hope you have a blessed day. I hope that your guides, guardians, and angels are watching over you and are protecting you and guiding you. And I hope you have a blessed day. Have a great day. Bye-bye.